So first of all, Gabriela, congratulations on the film. I loved it, and it's such a beautiful story.
Thank you so much.
You said that there are certain stories that feel like yours. So, The Friend, how is that for you?
Oh, it's a good question. I think I love true life stories. And I think I had read the article originally in 2015, fell in love with the article, and never saw it as a movie, never even thought of it. I just liked it as this piece of art. And I remember posting it on social media, which I very rarely do, and about things like that. And so I sort of like, told everybody there are stories and then there are stories. This one's a tough one, but make it through. It's worth it. And so for whatever reason, I guess I told a story about grief in a way that I think is so rare. And that is to focus not just on the grief and the grieving person, but to focus on the person who's holding them up and anchoring them. And so to me, that was a unique way of going about this story, and I loved it.
Coming from a background in documentary, and then you did your first narrative feature, with this being the second one, did that actually help you tell the story better or maybe differently?
1,000%. I think I feel all documentarians would say this, and most directors I think would say this too. But you just know what real looks like, because you've just always been around the real, and so to me that was important, and that is something I take from documentary, that tool. But also I think I think it was the story itself was just powerful and authentic and human, and those are all things I gravitate towards in story.
Who really surprised you with their acting range?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have 3 ninjas who were unbelievable. What I call them, I think of it as I had these 3 Navy SEALs who were all deployed in different parts of the world. Like some are from comedy, and some from like heavy drama, some straddle both, but they're all kind of at the top of their game in those things. So Dakota's comedy, and yet seeing her go so deep into sadness and be a mother, she doesn't have her own biological children, and for her to just be able to conjure that part of her portrayal blew my mind.
You mentioned that Jason as Dane would do impromptu humor, and then that you'd cry because it was just so funny. Did he often do that for his role?
Oh, absolutely. He's just he will take the line that's being said to him, or he'll take a scenario, and he'll do do something with it, like say something back to it that kind of reveals like how silly the line was, or just how silly life is, and he can just kind of like elevates the comedy in just what is like this really normal pedestrian interaction, and he's doing that, and then that spurs Casey to do the same thing. And Casey also has background in comedy with the Oceans series, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They both know how to do that, to spar like that. Dakota does too. And so they would just sort of like do this, and it would just be hilarious. But Jason would oftentimes just sort of start the ball rolling. Yeah.
The friendship between the 3 of them is really, really strong. But how did they bond on set? Like, did they have any bonding exercises?
I had them all live together for like part of a day in the house with the girls, and I would split them up so that like Dane would just spend some time like doing a puzzle with the girls, and Dakota and Casey would hang out. Jason. With the girls, and then Dakota and Casey would hang out and just talk, and then I would split it up so that Casey got and then time with the girls and time with Jason, and then at one point Casey was like, let's all go get ice cream. So it's sort of like a family. They went down the street in Fairhope and got ice cream. So it was like those are the types of things that allow them to find each other a little bit before we started shooting.
Well, this is definitely a really, really beautiful film, and it's told very well. So thank you so much for the chat, and wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.